I could not get it back. It was nowhere.
Ah, it's okay, but you picked up the main point is that main point is that impure states of the mind, that idea should sit in our head anytime we have anxiety, duality, guilt, problem.
Yeah,
And you rightly wrote the impure mind is burdened by unresolved feeling
yeah,
and impressions emanating from the vasana. So we have understood, because I'm into anxiety. I don't know what is the reason. There must be some the cause. Nothing can be created out of nothing. There must be some cause. So,
yeah,
so we say the cause is the vasana, and the vasana is our tendencies, past impression, the past karma, thought, feeling, and emotions that we have accumulated for years, not only in this birth but also from the previous birth. So that triggers. So that vasana is triggered by outer event. Hey,
yeah,
how are you? Oh, my son is not doing well. Now you see that your mind says, my son is also not doing well.
yeah,
You see, oh, you see, my honey is crazy. Oh, my honey is also, those impressions triggers her by any outer event.
yeah,
And once the trigger takes place, and then it occupies the mind with the strong likes and dislikes, with attachment and detachment, and then we are governed, dictated by the nature, dictated by the impure states of the mind. And you have already written there are many impure states of the mind. Yes, I want to elaborate on one of the most beautiful point that you mentioned. So this what happens. I have an unexamined life. So when we have a life that is not examined, means that I don't say, oh, I'm doing it by the force of the nature, like all the animals are programmed by the nature. They are forced by the nature to do their activities.
yeah,
That is why they have a specific season for a sex. They eat particular food. The cow does not eat flesh. The tiger does not eat grass, because their tendency, they are programmed by nature. They are dictated by the nature. So when we are also dictated by the nature, it is an unexamined life. So in human space, we say it is foolishness. Simple word.
yeah,
Foolishness is unexamined life, goes by the instinct and impulses. Now what happens, that foolishness creates an imagined and projected pain and pleasure that is triggered by vasana.
mm,
Now you see the second step. Now imagined or projected thought, feeling, and emotion are being repeated constantly. So when it is repeated constantly, we have an attachment, we have a likes and dislikes. So when it is repeated subconsciously, even you don't know that you are thinking, but still,
yeah.
you go to the kitchen. Oh, I like this. Oh, you have this in your kitchen. I like this.
I have to get another pen. Sorry.
So we have these strong likes and dislikes because of the imagined or projected thought process.
Yeah,
So you have a strong likes and dislikes. So it continues subconsciously, and when it continues subconsciously, It causes attachment and detachment. Now I'm taking you to a little deeper aspect. Attachment and detachment causes the desire. And now this desire brings in our life an emotional dependence. Emotional dependence on a person, on an object, on a situation, on a life. Oh my goodness. Emotional dependence causes the selfishness, or what we say, egoistic life. And once we have selfishness, there is an intellectual paralysis. And when the person intellect is paralyzed, person lives in the world created by the mind. There are two words. The one word is as it is.
And sorry, what was it?
There are two words. One universe or one word is as it is. But other world I have created because of my foolishness, because of my projected pain and pleasure, because of my strong likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. So the self-created world caused by the sankalpa and vikalpa, or caused by the vasana, is known as the delusion. This is what the delusion. So Buddha says the world is suffering. I have already created a delusion, so it has to be a suffering. Delusion will cause the suffering. I have created a guilt, I have created an anxiety, I have created a reaction, I have created duality and a conflict in my life. So, and I continue to live with that life. So obviously, the world that I have created around me, with my relationship, with the possessions, with the things outside, with my age, gender, etc., etc. Oh, it is a self-created universe around me, is the cause of our delusion and the suffering. And ultimately, the cause is done by the impure states of the mind. And you have already written the impure states of the mind. So the first part, you have understood it clearly. So let us go to the second part. Understand clearly the impurity of the mind. We have already said, we understood the process. Impure states of the mind: strong likes and dislikes, money mind, monkey mind, guilt mind, uh, rationalizing mind, and etc. Long list. Now this mind, in Gita, the Krishna, the greatest master and originator of yoga, mindfulness, and everything, he says that we have six enemies which causes the impure states of the mind. What are the six enemies? First, let us know the name. First is the desire. Second is the agitated state. Third is the greed or repeat desire. Fourth is the delusion. Fifth is the pride or ego. And the sixth is jealousy or hatred. These are the six enemies. That is one way to say. Now, as long as mind lives with the desire. No, I have a desire to buy a Mercedes car. Good. So I have a desire. That is okay. But the same desire becomes the agitation and a stress in me, in my mind, when I'm not able to get the car. Means my desire is unfulfilled. Same desire becomes the agitation. Same desire becomes the anxiety. Same desire becomes the suffering. See that? So now desire is not fulfilled. it colors itself into an agitation and a stressful life. Now, if the desire is fulfilled, so that desire which is fulfilled, that creates a greedy life because I want to repeat the desire. I like a particular dessert, so okay, I want to repeat it, and there's a lot of sugar into it. After 10-15 years, I realize that sugar is a poison. So remember, 6 enemies. First, he says, first thing to understand: desire, agitation, greed, delusion, pride or ego, and jealousy. These are the 6 enemies. Now we have to understand clearly the same desire in the next stage. If the desire is not fulfilled, it becomes an agitation, anxiety, duality, upset, etc., etc., etc. Now, problem that desire for peace and happiness from the external world is a myth, is a delusion. So whether the desire is fulfilled or desire is not fulfilled, we still have a problem. My desire is fulfilled to have a dessert or to have a candies every day for 10 years, 15 years. So I will end up with the diabetes. So it means, you see, same desire becomes the greed, same desire becomes the agitation, and we fail to understand all the 3 factors results into delusion. Now we are defining the delusion. Delusion means what? What appears true is not true. My desire is not fulfilled, then why you are worried? Why you are seeking it? Why you want to fulfill a desire? Oh, I want to fulfill a desire for the sake of happiness. Okay, you bought a new car. You don't want to. You did not get a car. That is why you are frustrated of your choice. Now, unexamined life, you don't think that car is meant to transport. Can you have any car? Yes, I can have any car, but I am bent upon to have a particular car which I am not having. That makes me agitated. So desire becomes the agitation, and the desire, now the desire is fulfilled. I have a Mercedes car now. Very good. 1 month passes. I have to pay $1,200 EMI. I don't have it. So the same desire becomes the greed. So what appears true, whether the desire is fulfilled, what appears true, whether the desire is unfulfilled, it causes the delusion. That needs to be understood. My expectations are met, my expectations are not met, but I have to recognize my expectations for peace and happiness are not met. We need to survive, we need to depend on the material world for food, for breathing. We need an air, we need a cloth and a shelter. But does that create any problem? No. I am hungry, I eat food, I am happy. See that? There is a cold, I wear the warm cloth and I am happy. That is not creating any problem. We need to depend on things for survival. But if I depend on anything, on any person for my peace and happiness, love and wisdom, I have to face these 6 enemies. I have to face these 6 enemies directly or indirectly. Yeah? What are the six enemies? First is the desire, second is the hesitation, huh? Third is the greed, fourth is the delusion, fifth is the pride, and the sixth is our jealousy. So desire for seeking happiness. Now expand this. Desire for physical survival, there is no problem. I'm hungry, I eat my food, and then until I become hungry next time, then I will take the food again. Temporary measures. Food, clothes. So, but desire for seeking happiness is the projection. It comes from the vasana. It creates an impure states of the mind. So it has already created an impure states of the mind. Mind is overwhelmed to fulfill the desire. It is not fulfilled. And then I see desire for happiness where it is not. It is deluded mind seeking happiness causes mind upset, angry, agitated. Otherwise, there is no reason to be upset and agitated. Third is the greed. Third enemy is the greed. Even if desire is fulfilled, deluded mind cannot see that it is a short term pleasure. It vanishes. I have to repeat it. And by repeating any desire has to create a problem. So now all the three, the first three enemies, desire becomes hesitation and desire becomes the greed. Now all the three together creates a delusion. Simple. So I have to examine my life whenever I'm surrounded by some mental, emotional challenges, any challenges. I have to examine life. I have to look at these six enemies. And first I have to examine, am I seeking, do I have a desire to seek peace and happiness? Yes. From where? From an object, from a situation. Is the desire fulfilled? No. That is why I'm hesitating. Or if the desire is over fulfilled, means that I'm constantly seeking a short term pleasure, I want to repeat it all the time. So when I'm going to repeat all the time, it is going to cause me again the delusion. Now what happens? You see, this is what the great understanding. Now my desire is fulfilled. I have the Mercedes, I have a big house, I have a beautiful husband or a wife. All my desires are fulfilled. So the mind starts looking at the neighbor. It says, no, look at this guy. I'm working hard, I am earning so much of money. So what happens? There is a kind of selfishness, the ego takes over. Oh, I can do this. There is no second Bill Gates. There cannot be second Elon Musk. We have many marketing gimmicks, that we say, oh, you can earn $1 billion. This is the secret of Bill Gates. How many people have followed the secrets of Bill Gates and how many people have become Bill Gates? Every individual is unique. So by chance or by luck or by mere hard work, you have built in a big empire and you build also your ego. That is what the fifth one, the pride, when we find by luck or otherwise, our repeat desire getting fulfilled, we develop a kind of ego. I am and I can achieve everything. Elon Musk told everyone, but one of his interviews, I was listening to him, and he said, I'm very damn scared about my life.
Scared.
Scared, yes. He has an extreme fear of death. So, because this is because of the after the fourth desire, That is the delusion. I have come to the fifth one. Because that's why he criticizes everyone. He criticizes Melinda Gates, he criticizes Bill Gates, he criticizes Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So obviously he is now the richest guy. So he feels that he has a right. But that in that criticism there is an element of jealousy and hatred because of
Yeah.
ego, and that is what the six enemies are. We have very small little hatred or jealousy. He has a big jealousy or hatred. That is the only difference. We all are sailing in the same boat. You see that we all have the same. These six enemies are present until we are awakened and we have reached to the state of realization. These six enemies in quantity may be very less, may seem to be invisible, but it remains with us all the time. By constant examining our life, following the path of the Eastern wisdom, we are able to reduce, we are able to minimize it. And as you go on the journey of minimizing, the time comes, it goes away. So these are the six enemies. Excessive craving. Now look from the different perspective. Excessive craving for sensory pleasure or material possessions leads to a constant dissatisfaction, is the name of a desire. I'm explaining in a different way. Excessive craving for either sensory pleasure or material possession leads to a constant dissatisfaction. So, what happens? It remains. Desire is the impure state of the mind. So, a kind of dissatisfaction, a kind of, oh, I have not taken care of my son the way I should have taken care. Let the son take care of it. You are already taking care of him. Finished. That's it. But still my mind keeps on thinking. Why mind keeps on thinking? Projection, vasana, unexamined life. Look at it. So that is another perspective of the desire. So once my desire, now the second you look at the hesitation, when our desires are or expectations aren't met, they are not met, we react with the frustration and anger, as if frustration and anger will fulfill the desire. That is the first very deep delusion. No, I'm very sad. Why I'm sad? Because my my daughter is not doing well. Ah, so your sadness will help her to do well? That I don't think and analyze. My sadness and frustration is not going to help. Look at it. How the impure states of the mind takes over our life. Ah. So when our desires or expectations aren't met, we react with the frustration and anger as if frustration, anger, and the stress will help fulfill the desire. But it is not at all possible. So now the desire has become an agitation, desire has become a frustration, desire has become an anxiety, desire has become a guilt, the desire has become strong likes and dislikes, and which is not fulfilled. But if it is fulfilled, insatiable desire for more power, more possessions can never truly satisfy us. This needs to be understood. In any area, in our relationship, in our possessions, in anything. So, what happens, insatiable desire. One desire is getting fulfilled. Second desire is getting fulfilled. Third desire is getting fulfilled. Now what happens? It leads to workaholism. Workaholic. I become workaholic. I neglect the relationship, or I engage in unethical practices to accumulate more, ultimately leading to stress and more corruption. So whether the desire is not fulfilled or it is fulfilled, in both the cases, we are not understanding, we are not examining, analyzing our life. There is an intellectual paralysis. I don't remember exactly. Oh yes, I now remember. The couple, unfortunately or fortunately, they are Indians in US. They created a hype and uh, presented a rosary picture about ads to the Google and Facebook, and they scammed about $2 billion from the Google and the Facebook.
They scammed?
Yeah,
Okay.
and $2 billion.
2 billion?
$2 billion.
Okay.
But now they are resting in the prison in New York City for 14 years.
So these were your clients? I'm sorry.
Uh,
No. They were your clients?
no, they were not my client. I was reading the story on the CNN.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Recently, they were sent to the prison. FBI conducted an inquiry for 2 years, and they wanted the proof how they scam the Google and the Facebook. They can scam Google and the Facebook. Look at the.
Did they learn? Yeah. I mean, how do you do that?
So you see, that is desire has become the greed.
They were intelligent too to find.
Yes. You are intelligent in a negative way, so it leads to the stress and moral corruption.
Yeah.
So
that was the motivation.
That was the motive. And now you see from where the motivation has come from: an imagined and projected pleasure.
Yeah.
And from where the projected pleasure has come from the vasana. So they had some inherited tendencies to become corrupt.
Yeah.
And from there it has fruited. And once it has fruited, after 2 years of inquiry, they are sent to. So that is what the fourth desire is. The fourth enemy is the delusion, misunderstanding. Simple way, misunderstanding the true nature of the reality. True nature of the reality causes delusion. What is the delusion? I want to stick to my false identity and attachments. I have done wrong, I have done wrong, I have done wrong, I have done wrong. That will produce the guilt. Or, you see, there is another. It's instead of a guilt, we say it is a corruption, it's a scam. No. If I make Google fool, I will get $1 billion. Thought process, imagined thought process, same thing. Either you follow this thought or that. Both are delusion. That needs to be clearly, once we understand, the mind is free. So the delusion, misunderstanding the true nature of the reality. So when I misunderstand, then I cling to the false identity and attachment. Whether I attach to a thought that produces a guilt, or whether I am attached to a thought where I scam for $1 billion. Both is a matter of delusion. That you look at the Krishna, the beauty of his understanding, the beauty, the way he teaches. This could manifest as being. Then what happens? I have a particular thought of a guilt, or I have a particular thought of his scam. Now what him? I am overly attached to that thought, image in my mind. So I continue to live in delusion. I continue to live in misconception and false identity for securing happiness. Look at this. So what happens? That is the delusion. Now after the delusion, the fifth enemy is the pride. Now you see the excessive ego or arrogance can damage relationship, hinder our personal growth. So what is this pride? It is an inability to admit mistakes at work, or looking down on others, or not able to examine the false identities that I have. I want to keep those false identities in order to have a recognition and a prestige, etc., etc. So it blocks my self improvement. I continue to live in impure states of the mind. But the ego always comes after the delusion. Remember this. Desire becomes agitation, desire becomes the greed, desire becomes the delusion. Now all the four manifest as pride or ego. And once the ego takes over, it's a greater delusion. And that greater delusion naturally manifests in jealousy and hatred. Now I'm more beautiful, I'm richer, I'm more intelligent, etc., etc. Long list is there with the human feeling resentful of others' success and possessions. Why it comes? Oh, you gave such a beautiful presentation, and now I feel, oh, he is crazy. I don't want to appreciate because of all these five enemies are working in my head. So I am feeling resentful of others' success or possessions, creates negative emotions and damages our personality, behavior, and attitude. This will manifest as what you say, bitterness. I continue to remain in stress. The moment I go out and I look at the neighbor, I'm stressed without any reason. You see that? How come he or she is so handsome or beautiful? How come he or she has this? How come? How come here? Let the world go to hell. Let me live in peace. Let the world go to hell. Why should I worry about? Why should I worry about it? So you see that. Now see, we will be working on that. So we have already understood the six enemies, how it originates, and how it manifests, and how it lives in our thought, feeling, and emotions, how it lives in our relationship, how it lives with us all the time. So we need the six inner wealth. These are the six inner enemies. We need six wealth. It has to be replaced by the six wealth. What are those so-called, or you can say not six, but only the four, or you can say nine. First wealth is the discernment. Any moment, anywhere in your life, in relationship, in possession, in duality, and a conflict, the first wealth is discernment. What is discernment? In a simple language, discernment means separate the mixture of false identity with the real. Separate the mixture from the real and unreal. Separate the mixture from the permanent with impermanent. Separate the mixture with the false identity with what is real. That is discernment. False identity. I have a desire to eat this candy to get happiness. Oh, so if you eat this candy, will you be happy forever? No. As long as that candy comes in contact with my taste buds, I will get a pleasure, but after that, the pleasure is gone. This is discernment. So I discern the false identity of pleasure in contact with the taste buds and the candy. If you appreciate me, one guy who is 32, 33 years old, and I told you before also, he said, I gave 200% to this girl, and now she cheated me. She doesn't talk, she doesn't pick up my phone. Oh, so you want to convey some message to her? He said, yes. He's a very good student of mine, but he was in a delusion. So he said, I want to talk. I want to send her a text message. I said, why don't you send me the same text message? I will receive it with happiness. So your problem will be over. So you are sticking to the false identity with that girl who is not responding to you, with whom you gave 200%. First of all, you have been with me for the last 2 years and you have not even given me 10%. You should have changed your life. So you see, the discernment is a very powerful tool. So discernment is the ability to differentiate, separate the mixture. So desire comes because of the mixture is already there. When that mixture causes the delusion, delusion means what appears true is not true. So the power of discernment cannot be. Now, once you have that power of discernment, you have separated, then you should have the same thought again and again until the mind says, I'm done with. So once I explained to him that this is because of your delusion, why you should, so, and then he started laughing. So I said, now you have started laughing, the mind has become lighter, mind is relaxed, you have removed the delusion, and your mind is not running after her. Am I sure? He said, yes. That is the power of dispassion. Dispassion does not mean it is indifference. The second wealth is dispassion. Now you enter into that state of inner calmness and peace as compared to the outer calmness and peace. In any situation, in any relationship, in any position, in anything. So, first wealth, inner enemies, inner wealth. So we have to see the comparison. Inner enemies, oh, any enemy has taken over, let me start with my inner wealth. I have to cultivate, I have to rethink, I have not to live an unexamined life. So the first inner wealth is discernment. Second inner wealth is the dispassion. Normally, dispassion is translated as detachment from the worldly object and experiences. It is an antidote. My mind desires something to be happy in the world, and instantly a thought of a dispassion comes. I will acquire this object, but not for happiness. There is a need based desire. There is no binding desire for happiness. That results into a dispassion. So, first, the, you continue with the discernment. You continue with the discernment, and dispassion will follow you on its own. You need not to worry about it. You'll have a smile on your face once the level of discernment, the quality of the discernment is deeper. You are always happy. Second wealth. Third wealth. So the third wealth, we say the third wealth has 6 steps, or you can say it is third wealth consists of the 6 sub-wealth. First is the tranquility of the mind. Mind is 100% available to you. We say the tranquility, it means the mind is 100% available to you. What it means? Mind is 100% available to you. You have not lent the mind for any object, situation, event seeking happiness outside. Mind is 100% available to you. So, or we say a practice of calmness and the tranquility in all the situations, in all the conditions. Sub-wealth number 1. It is known as sama. Sama Shanti. We say Shanti, Shanti is peace. So it has come from the same root. The sama means the tranquility of the mind. But sometimes what happens, you have a tranquility of the mind, it is disturbed the moment that object or person comes in front of you. So I should know how to withdraw my sense organs from the respective objects which causes the hesitation. We will discuss in detail, but let us understand the inner wealth. So this is known as the Dhamma.
What did you say?
It is known as the Dhamma. Sama means calmness of the mind.
Oh, okay.
Dhamma means the calmness of the sense organs.
Oh, I've written Sama. Says Dhamma.
Dhamma is calmness, withdrawal of the sense organs. Sama is the calmness of the mind.
Okay.
Now, Uparama. There is another third word, the Uparama, the third wealth. What is the third wealth? You are in any situation, every situation, people, relationship, you are able to maintain your calmness as if your mind is beyond the pleasure and the pain in the world. You reach to the higher state of consciousness, Oparama, beyond pain and the pleasure, Oparama. Means that delusion is already losing its ground. Third. Fourth is the endurance. Fourth is the endurance. What is endurance? So there are 2 words, austerity and endurance. So what is endurance? You have a patience to endure difficulties without hesitation. That is what the endurance is. You build the resilience against the feelings of jealousy or pride or likes or dislikes. These thoughts may come and go, but I say, okay, they do not belong to me. That is the fourth wealth. It is known as forbearance or endurance. The fifth wealth is Shraddha. The Shraddha means the faith. Faith in what? Faith in yourself. Faith in yourself means what? Faith in what we have been examining, and we are relaxed and calm. We have understood the cause and effect. Somewhere deep in our mind, there is a tremendous faith. Oh, this is going to help me. So I should develop that kind of a faith in these principles after experimenting with them. And the sixth is that you are in the state of mindfulness. You can return to the state of mindfulness at will. So when you cultivate these qualities, these inner wealth, the desire is transformed into contentment and inner fulfillment. You see the logic, the way. The hesitation, the second enemy, is replaced by understanding and compassion. The third enemy, greed, gives way to generosity and contentment and satisfaction. Delusion is dispelled by clarity and wisdom. Pride is replaced by humility and genuine self confidence. Jealousy transforms into appreciation and goodwill. Now you see, you all have, your mind is now filled with all the positive thoughts, feeling, and emotion. You are able to express anywhere, anytime, in any situation and relationship. The life becomes beautiful.
So that was number 3, right? Or 4.
Which one?
What you just said, that was the third wealth?
Yeah, the third wealth has 6 sub-wealth. So what are the 6 sub-categories? The first is the sama, tranquility of the mind. Second is the dhamma, the withdrawal of the sense organs from their objects. Third is the uparama, means you are beyond pain and the pleasure you experience in a situation relationship. Fourth is the endurance or forbearance. Fifth is the faith. And the sixth is by will you can enter into the state of mindfulness. You can enter into the state of mindfulness. So again, the same thing, you have to listen to it and summarize it. I will also explain a little deeper into these one more time so that you have a clarity.
Okay. So what do we call this session, lesson, because I have to create a document.
Six enemies of the mind and the 6 inner wealth.